Objective, or stream of consciousness. Ever since you went to high school, he said in the dimly lit hallway, I watched you in the morning go to the subway to school, and I said always to myself, this is a fine boy that he wants so much in education. Thanks, Max said, nervously alert. He was tall and grotesquely thin, with sharply cut features, particularly a beak-like nose. He was wearing a loose, long, slushy overcoat that hung down to his ankles, looking like a rug draped over his bony shoulders, and a soggy, old brown hat, as battered as the shoes he had brought in. I am a businessman, the shoemaker abruptly said to conceal his embarrassment, so I will explain you right away why I talk to you. The point of view in this passage is third-person omniscient. The writer describes the thoughts and actions of the characters as if he were all-knowing. Note the phrase, thanks, Max said, nervously alert, followed by a physical description of Max. In the next paragraph, we find a similar description of the shoemaker. The narrator knows the thoughts of both men, as well as the other characters in the story. He went out, and they were alone. Paco took a napkin one of the priests had used, and standing straight, his heels planted, lowered the napkin, and with head following the movement, swung his arms in the motion of a slow, sweeping Veronica. He turned, and advancing his right foot slightly, made the second pass, gained a little terrain on the imaginary bull, and made a third pass, slow, perfectly timed, and suave, then gathered the napkin to his waist and swung his hips away from the bull in a media Veronica. The dishwasher, whose name was Enrique, watched him critically and sneeringly. The author's point of view in this story is third-person objective. The action of the characters is recorded without any attempt to interpret their inner thoughts or feelings. This perspective is also known as the dramatic point of view, which suggests that the reader overhears and observes events as if they were on a stage. You may have seen my mother waltzing on ice skates in Rockefeller Center. She's 78 years old now, but very wiry, and she wears a red velvet costume with a short skirt. Her tights are flesh-colored, and she wears spectacles and a red ribbon in her white hair, and she waltzes with one of the rink attendants. I don't know why I should find the fact that she waltzes on ice skates so disconcerting, but I do. I avoid that neighborhood whenever I can during the winter months, and I never lunch in the restaurants on the rink. This is an example of first-person point of view. One of the characters narrates the events. Note the use of the pronoun I. Light flashed on her closed eyelids, and a deep roaring shook her. Cornelia, is that lightning? I hear thunder. There's going to be a storm. Close all the windows. Call the children in. Mother, here we are, all of us. Is that you, Hapsy? Oh, no, I'm Lydia. We drove as fast as we could. Their faces drifted above her, drifted away. The rosary fell out of her hands, and Lydia put it back. Jimmy tried to help. Their hands fumbled together, and Granny closed 2 fingers around Jimmy's thumb. Beads wouldn't do. It must be something alive. She was so amazed her thoughts ran round and round. This passage represents stream of consciousness. The character's flow of thoughts is recreated without any attempt at explanation. Fragments of thoughts, sensations, memories, and emotions are merged together. At this moment, the bedlight, always uneasy upon the plaster wall, chose to fall from its hook. He threw down the paper in sudden anger and sprang up to set it back, when he saw his name leap at him from the scattered pages. Drake Forrester found dead in his apartment. It was a small headline on the back page. He seized the paper and took it to the window and read his own obituary. Drake Forrester, an actor, was found dead in his bed this morning by an elevator man who brought him his usual morning paper. Mr. Forrester was well known in former years in successful Broadway plays. He received offers from Hollywood, which he did not accept, preferring to remain on the legitimate stage. In recent years, the paper fell from his hand. This is third-person omniscient. The author records the events as if she were all-knowing. Because the main character, Drake Forrester, is alone in his room, the narrator relates the thoughts of only one character. More specifically, this is called the limited omniscient point of view.